Spider-Man is getting ready to swing onto the big screen yet again with the highly anticipated film Homecoming. But many people tend to forget that there's more than one Spider-Man. In fact, the mantle isn't even exclusive to being a male anymore.
A boy pretending to be Spidey? Now I've seen everything.
There are a few Spider-Men and girls out there now, and despite being different people, you'd be surprised at how much these web slingers have in common. So strap on your mechanical web shooters and take a swing with CBR. Before we get started, why not hit that subscribe button? That way you'll always get the latest and greatest videos from CBR right on your homepage.
Thanks. Well, I could have stuck the landing a little better. It's just a new suit. Wait, it's nothing. Mr. Stark, it's perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, we don't really need to start a conversation.
Okay.
Avenging, sorta. What would Spider-Man be without some kind of connection to the Avengers? Both Spider-Man and Spider-Girl have had some kind of connection to the superhero team that protects the Earth from all kinds of mishaps. Peter Parker's Spider-Man is one of the original characters in Marvel's roster, but it took him quite some time to finally get around to joining the Avengers.
You're the Spiderling. Crime-fighting spider.
He turned down that role in the 1960s and failed to join again in the 80s due to security concerns. In the 2000s, Spidey was part of the new Avengers team, along with Iron Man, Cap, Wolverine, Spider-Woman, and Luke Cage. Thanks to a deal made with Sony, he'll be able to grace the big screen with the likes of Iron Man and Captain America during the Infinity War. Anya Corazon also has some affiliations with the Avengers, but much like Peter Parker, she's never been a full-blown member. She's one of the new students who goes to the Avengers Academy's new base of operations, which just so happens to be the former headquarters of West Coast Avengers. She's also worked with the Avengers during an Inhumans and Avengers crossover event called Inhumanity, which sees her working with Hulk, Wolverine, Spider-Man, and Black Widow as they try to recover Corazon's sociology teacher, who may have pivotal information handy.
You'll just hurt yourself.
I'll hurt... What?
Superhuman strength. Let's get the super obvious stuff out of the way. Spider-Man and Spider-Girl may look slim and athletic, but don't let their slim builds fool you. Those two superheroes are actually really strong. Thanks to being bit by a radioactive spider, Peter Parker is able to lift 10 to 20 tons over his head. That means that lifting and throwing a tank is no problem for him. In fact, based on his strength level, Parker actually has to pull a lot of his punches and kicks so he doesn't accidentally kill someone. One of the Spider-Girls, Anya Corazon, eventually has a strength level that's more or less on par with Parker's. She's able to quickly subdue Arachne during one battle, who was also able to lift 10 tons on his own. But after the events of Spider Island in 2011, her power level seemed to grow, suggesting that Spider-Girl's strength has the ability to improve over time. May Parker also possesses superhuman strength, but unlike her father Peter, she's not yet gotten to that 10-ton benchmark. To compensate for this, she's a lot faster than Spider-Man, giving her an edge in battle.
Remember when I told you about Spidey sense? This time it's kicking up a storm.
Spidey senses. Spidey senses are tingling. That's because in this no-brainer, Spider-Man and Spider-Girl share the ability known as the Spidey sense. The clairvoyant ability was introduced way back in the 1960s when Spider-Man was initially released. Under the creation of Stan Lee, Spider-Man was able to avoid incoming attacks thanks to his body being able to detect danger nearby. Whenever a threat was incoming, Spider-Man would receive a signal that would alert him to where the attack was coming from and what exactly to expect. In a move that surprised literally no one, the Spidey sense made its way down the line to both Miles Morales, Parker's successor, and to the other Spider-Girls and Spider-Women. May Parker's spider sense is a bit different than her father's though. In fact, it may be even more powerful. She can actually go into a fight blindfolded and win, operating solely on spider sense. Her ability not only protects her from physical harm, but also notifies her when someone is trying to deceive her, which is something we're certain Peter Parker would have loved to have back in the day. At the end of the day though, both Spider-Man and Spider-Girl's theme song should actually be Can't Touch This.
Go! Go! Go, Web, go!
The Raimi connection. No matter how much you love the Sam Raimi Spider-Man films, there was certainly one aspect of the film that drove you crazy if you were an original comic book fan. That was the decision to give Peter Parker organic web shooters. Thanks to the spider bite, the trademark Spidey webbing became part of Pete's DNA and would shoot directly out of his wrist. The decision polarized many fans as the Spider-Man of the comic book page always had mechanical web shooters. Being something of a genius, Parker was able to create a device to shoot webbing out from his Spider-Man suit to complement his newfound powers.
Don't tell Aunt May.
But there are many fans out there who prefer the organic web shooters, saying it makes more sense all things considered. Perhaps that's why one of the Spider-Girls has organic web shooters. Anya Corazon is actually able to produce her own spider webbing organically.
A genius too.
In other words, she has no need for mechanical augmentations. This is one of the rarer instances where the similarities transcend media and character, going from film to comic. Anya's webbing is contingent on her health, so she always has to be eating smart. She has glands on her forearms that emit the webbing, much like Tobey Maguire's Peter Parker. Like the artificial webbing in the comics though, the organic webbing shares basically all of the same properties.
Looks like I'm off to see the wizard.
Amazing powers. Have you ever played a Spider-Man game? Chances are, if you're watching this, you have. Whether it's Web of Shadows, the old N64 version, or the beloved tie-in version for Spider-Man 2. When playing as Spidey though, you really get a sense of just how high that dude can jump. Thanks to being bit by a radioactive spider, not only can Peter Parker attach himself to surfaces, allowing him to climb up walls, but he's able to leap high up into the air to get a head start on all that swinging. Thankfully, this ability isn't limited to just Peter Parker. All of the Spider-Folk are able to not only leap and perform incredible feats of acrobatics, but they're also able to attach themselves to any surface. This, of course, allows them to scale walls and ceilings, perfect for infiltrating secret bases and for climbing skyscrapers. Thankfully, no matter how each spider got their power, the overall superpowers seem to be pretty uniform. Miles and Peter were both bitten by radioactive spiders. May got hers genetically, and Anya got hers through magic, which thankfully didn't change things up too much for longtime Spidey fans.
I started this company. You know how much I sacrificed?
Oscorp. It wouldn't be Spider-Man without some mention of Osborn Industries Incorporated. The company, headed by Norman Osborn, has become synonymous with Spider-Man ever since the 1960s. While on a field trip, Peter Parker ends up being bitten by a radioactive spider, and the rest is history, as they say. But the fun didn't stop there, as Norman Osborn went on to become one of Parker's most famous adversaries, the Green Goblin. Mayday Parker also knows a thing or two about the Osborns. While she wasn't bitten by a spider, she has had a brush-in with the MC2's version of the Green Goblin. In that timeline, the man under the goblin mask is in fact Norman's grandson and Harry Osborn's son, the painfully named Normie Osborn. No wonder he went goblin. May Parker also lost her powers due to an electrical shock once, but instead of giving up, she decided to borrow Normie's equipment until she could get them back. If the shoe fits, right? Miles Morales also has a brush-in with an Oscorp spider, which, like Peter Parker, turns him into the web slinger. Instead of a field trip, Miles' spider bites him in his uncle's apartment, who is actually in the process of stealing the formula from Oscorp, who were trying to recreate the Oz formula from Parker's blood.
So what's it this time? Another android? Or clone imposter?
Multiple spiders. Much like our friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, there are two versions of Spider-Girl that exist in the comic books. In case you didn't know, Peter Parker isn't the only web-slinger to grace the pages of Marvel's hit series. Debuting back in 2011, Miles Morales is a completely different kid compared to Peter Parker. Having made his debut in the Ultimate series, also known as the Earth 1610 run, he's merged into Marvel's main Earth 616 series after the events of Secret Wars. We can look forward to seeing both Pete and Miles on the PS4 when Insomniac's Spider-Man game swings onto the console in 2018. Spider-Girl also has a few people hiding behind the mask. In the MC2 universe, better known as Earth 982, she's actually Mayday Parker, the daughter of Peter Parker and Mary Jane Watson. Die-hard fans of Peter Parker's legacy will no doubt realize that she's named after Parker's beloved Aunt May. In Earth 616, though, Spider-Girl is portrayed by Anya Corazon, a teenage gymnast from Brooklyn. Unlike May, who got her powers through genetics, Anya got her powers through magic. The sorcerer Miguel of the Spider Society saw potential in Anya and passed off some of his powers to her to save her life after being attacked saving a bystander.
What are you doing around here?
I'm begging for a job. How about you?
New York state of mind. If there's one thing that's synonymous with Spider-Man and Spider-Girl, it's that they're all representing New York City. No matter if it's Peter Parker, May Parker, Anya, or Miles Morales, each iteration of Spider-Man and Spider-Girl always ends up repping the Empire State. Both Parkers, Peter and his daughter May, hail from Queens, a section of New York east of Manhattan and north of Brooklyn, while Miles and Anya Corazon hail from Brooklyn. The Spider Mantle has always aimed to be relevant to readers. Instead of being soldiers, billionaires, or gods, Peter Parker was a high schooler living in Queens who faced the greatest battles of all: high school crushes, homework, and bullies. Something we all can relate to. Having him go to a public school in a recognizable city in the world allowed many people to identify with Parker's plight. Since Spider-Man is one of Stan Lee's most beloved creations, it's a no-brainer that all the other spiders to follow after Peter Parker would also hail from New York. He's become synonymous with the city, which so happens to be the city of Stan Lee's birth and upbringing. No wonder New York plays such an important role for the spiders, and Marvel heroes in general.
Are you Tony Stank?
No Stan Lee here. On the topic of Miles Morales and Anya Corazon, it's worth mentioning that in this new age of Marvel heroes, both of these versions of Spider-Man and Spider-Girl don't have any direct connection with original Spider-Man creator Stan Lee. Stan Lee originally created Spider-Man back in 1962 during the Silver Age of comic books. He and artist Steve Ditko wanted to create a superhero that was more relatable for the average reader of comic books, and so Spider-Man was created. A teenager with everyday teenage problems, the web slinger became one of Marvel's most popular characters. Miles Morales, on the other hand, was created in 2011, making his debut in Ultimate Fallout No. 4. He was created by Brian Michael Bendis and artist Sarah Pichelli, as well as Marvel editor-in-chief Alex Alonso. These three drew inspiration from former President Obama, as well as Donald Glover when it came to designing Miles. Mayday Parker was first created back in 1998 in an alternate universe timeline called MC2. She was written by Tom DeFalco and Ron Frenz, and first appeared in What If No. 2. Anya Corazon first appeared in Amazing Fantasy No. 4 back in 2004 and was penned by Fiona Avery with Mark Brooks doing the artwork.
Huh? My name is Miles Morales, and I'm Spider-Man.
Peter Parker is so last millennium. While Peter Parker may be a white Caucasian from Queens, he's no longer the only Spider-Man. Times are a-changin', and superheroes are the most diverse they've ever been, which is awesome. While many fans still love Peter Parker as the original Spider-Man, there's been a passionate and growing fan base for Miles Morales. He's also from New York, Brooklyn this time around, but is of Puerto Rican descent. Anya Corazon is likewise also from Brooklyn. Her father immigrated to New York City from Mexico after Anya's Puerto Rican mother was killed. The two sought a new life in America, but by the time that high school rolled around, Anya was already shooting webs out of her wrists and climbing walls, as one does when infused with the power of a spider. While he was initially met with some mixed reactions from critics as his story felt very similar to Peter's, he is now a very beloved hero. Some critics even went as far as to call Miles Morales a publicity stunt thanks to his race. It's clear now, though, that Miles Morales is one of Marvel's most popular heroes.
Yeah, what they said.
In fact, he'll be getting his own animated theatrical film in 2018, produced by Lord & Miller, the team behind the Lego Movie and 21 Jump Street. Mark your calendars. Donald Glover's also portrayed him on the Disney XD animated series. Marvel's been on a roll lately, diversifying their characters. So which version of Spider-Man and Spider-Girl do you prefer?
Watch it!
You walked into my webline, so you watch it!
Well, that's all for now. So, what did you think of our video? Do you like that all the different Spider heroes have some similarities? Or do you wish that there were even more different? Who's your favorite of the 4 dominant ones mentioned here? Tell us what you think in the comments below, and be sure to give this video a like and subscribe to our channel for more web-slinging videos like this one. Thanks for watching!